Do you want to start a welding business, but you don't have the shop, the tools, the money to have something like this? I've got news for you. There's a way to make it happen.
I run my entire company out of this shop right here in a place called the Forge. It's a makerspace in Nashville, and it's got everything you need to start your own business.
You might remember JB off the podcast, but since then, you've blossomed into your own business here.
I have started my own metal fabrication company. I work out of this makerspace. It's got a full-service metal shop, wood shop, a digital fabrication studio, a CNC, knife making, a forge, and an amazing community of people willing and ready to help.
How do you get involved with the makerspace in the first place?
Pretty much every town these days has a makerspace. The way that I would suggest people get involved is just look up online, local makerspace. Usually you can set up a tour or you can just drop in. In my experience, makerspace people are just about the nicest people.
We've had a very similar experience with makers over the past year, so if you're interested, reach out. In Nashville, what would a shop like this cost you per month?
In Nashville right now, a shop this size would probably cost $2,500 a month. And then not to mention all the tools, we've probably got $50,000 shop. You know, my business partner and I never ever could have afforded something like this on our own when we first got started. I mean, this shop has everything we could possibly need. We've got a brake, a hydraulic press, an iron worker, a shear, belt sanders, drill press, welders, plasma cutter, masks, welding tables, oxyacetylene. So we have everything we could possibly need here, which really lowers the ceiling for starting a business, especially in Nashville, you know, where it's really expensive right now.
What is the cost for you to run your business out of here?
So we rent a small space and we pay $700 a month. And that gets us access to the entire metal shop and the rest of the building, including the wood shop and the digital fabrication space and everything else. Not only does it allow us to work in metal, it also allows us to branch out into other mediums if we want to or need to.
All in one place. What kind of stuff do you do here?
So that's a really hard question to answer. We do a lot of weird custom projects. This essentially is a custom fabrication shop. This whole building is. This is a great example of one of the many weird projects that we do. This is going to be on a putt-putt golf course. You'll put a golf ball right here and then it kind of tilts as you roll it through. So right now in the prototyping phase, which is why you see a lot of wood right here, but eventually it is going to be all made out of metal. And this is something that we would have a hard time doing if we were in a more traditional shop, because most metal shops don't have a wood shop right next door, and most metal shops don't have a laser cutter to cut out all of these cute little shapes. So we're able to make this out of wood, prototype, and then we'll get the replace it with metal later on. The makerspace is really essential to doing this sort of thing because we have the accessibility to shops and classes to learn how to use the wood shop, and also classes to learn how to do things like this. We don't have to outsource anything at all. We have all of the tools and equipment and knowledge to do all of it right here in shop.
So where do you go about finding people to do work for?
Most of our jobs come from people walking through the door here. Because especially if somebody needs something done that's kind of weird like this, they know that a makerspace is a good place to go because we have all of these tools. That's really where the majority of our work comes from, and then also word of mouth, because with a makerspace, you've got a built-in network of 50, 100, several hundred people. So we actually don't even really do any marketing. It's all word of mouth.
How many makers do you have that are using this space? Do you ever have to fight for equipment?
Up here in the metal shop, not so much. In the wood shop, it's a little more cramped down there, so sometimes they have to fight over chop saws, table saws, and stuff, but up here.
Compared to the wood shop, how apprehensive are people of coming up here and learning?
People are really nervous about coming up into the metal shop. I'm not totally sure why. I think that some people think that it's a lot more intimidating and a lot more unsafe than it actually is, which is funny because, in my opinion, the wood shop is way more dangerous.
Yep.
There's a lot of things down there that are going to take your finger off. Very few things up here that are going to take your finger off. Yeah, I think people are just intimidated by the electricity and the heat and stuff. Like, I get that it looks scary, but in reality, super safe.
And you teach people how to use it safely. Not only do you run a business out of here, but you can also come here to learn things, correct?
Absolutely. We teach all sorts of classes, metalworking and woodworking. So you can come in here as a complete novice, take a MIG Welding 101, and be right on your way to knowing how to metalwork.
And what about the business aspect? Are there people you can lean on when you need help, like learning different things?
We like to say here at the Forge that we are 49% tools and 51% community, because the community, you really can't understate how important that is and how helpful it is for learning a skill, a trade, how to weld, how to woodwork, or learning how to run your business. There's a lot of people here who have been running businesses for years and are willing to help everybody else out in whatever way they need. If you need help with your taxes, or you need help finding an accountant, or you need help getting clients, like there's so many people here that are willing to help you in so many ways.
And this is your business.
This is my business. This is Omo Furniture and Fabrication, run out of the Forge, Nashville, Tennessee.
Check it out. I really appreciate you taking the time to show us around, tell us everything. What is your advice for somebody that wants to get involved with a makerspace?
Go to Google.com, type in local makerspace, and find yourself one.
Like the Forge.